Hey, good morning, everyone. Marty Mazura here, October 10th, 2019, Thursday. I'm going to keep this one super quick. I don't see any real reason to get into technical trends and indicators and things on a short-term basis this morning, just because the market is going to be really, really volatile. And anything that could look like support, resistance, trend lines, that sort of thing could get blown out at a moment's notice. And I just want to make that point and then get back to you later, probably today on the written blog. In front of you is the 5-minute chart for S&P 500 E-mini futures contract. And this is yesterday afternoon. Now, if you watched yesterday's video, I said that in my view, it looked a lot like this week that the US really wasn't interested in a deal with China. In fact, that they were just really virtually begging them not to come with the latest in terms of movements in China's direction in what China would view as an antagonistic way. This week, the week that top negotiators were coming to town. So they came Wednesday, and during the evening on Wednesday, yesterday, they had deputy level talks. And the result of those talks was, according to the South China Morning Post, which is a legitimate source of news, that those talks went nowhere and they were going to cut the rest of them short. Instead of going 2 full days, the big group was going to come home Thursday. So this right here, folks, was a big decline. That was good in Dow terms for about 300 Dow points. I know a lot of people look at the Dow. And that was consistent with my narrative yesterday. Well, right here, the White House refuted that and said, no, everybody's still sticking around, and we're going to have a nice dinner Thursday night, and they're not going home till Friday. And then, kaboom, market came almost all the way back. And then there was someone else in Washington who said, no, it is kind of iffy. We may cut things short. And then, of course, here we are again. The president has been saying 100% deal or no deal. Others in the White House have said, literally used the term kitchen sink. This is gonna be a kitchen sink deal. Everything's gonna be thrown in, or there's gonna be no deal. Well, late last night, Wilbur Ross, the Commerce Secretary, said the U.S. wants a deal. Unnamed sources from the White House said we're looking at a currency deal. That would be somehow China making a commitment not to devalue or allow the yuan to shrink too much against the dollar in exchange for a delay of the October scheduled tariffs, or the 5% increase in tariffs that show up on October 15th. So that's been keeping the market kind of at bay right in here. You can see, I said I wouldn't look at trend lines. You can see this one developing on the 5-minute chart. I showed you yesterday how that flag pattern played out perfectly. So folks, it's 29.15 on the S&P. Who knows? I'd have to guess that in the next couple of days, that's going to just go rocketing in one direction or the other. Time will tell. My base case is based on the data, based on the fundamentals that continue to, on balance, deteriorate, and based on the longer term technical trend indicators, they don't look good. And so you have to say probabilities would suggest that the next big move in the market would be lower. But, we're always just talking probabilities when we have these conversations. There's a chance that the market could melt higher and it could stay up there in a sustainable way. As I remind you on most days, I still see marginal new highs in this market potentially, maybe even a good chance before our base case comes to fruition, if indeed that is correct. And again, I believe it's the right positioning or the right case to be made, given conditions on the ground and all information that we have at our disposal today. Things change. Things change on a short-term basis, and things can develop on a longer-term basis. For the longer-term scenario to get better, there's going to have to be a real different bent in geopolitics going forward. And we'll see. That's a possibility, but it may take a big market correction to inspire anything meaningful in that direction. So I'll leave it there. Thank you, as always, for watching and listening. Of course, you're going to get a ton more from us over the next few days, weeks, months, and so on.